Next is for me to introduce a very good friend of mine. And I was so scared of talking to him 15 years ago. When I first returned back from overseas, joined at that particular moment, and then still probably the country's most largest and complex IT implementations. And this individual and I met in the KRIA, Total Airport Management System project. Whenever we have an issues, when we come to him, he say, don't worry, contractually we are at the upper hand. Okay? Whenever we have subcontractors started to claims against us, we are not talking about one subcontractors. We are talking about 100 over subcontractors, over 5 or 6 different layers, claims against us. We came to this individual and he said, don't worry, we have transferred the risk because we have purchased project insurance. So it's kind of interesting that this individual have the background of law, and this individual has a background of commercial relationships. He has a background in how to translate commercial relationships and law and in the project environment. So please help me to put together someone with 40 over years in this particular space who had done the country's largest IT implementations, cost more than 1 billion ringgit for KRIA, and more than $500 million for the Smart School project, cost more than $500 million for the e-government projects. And he is someone who believes in sharing, because I cannot afford to pay him to be here today. Please help me to put a great welcome, Mr. Siva. When I talk to Siva about this, I did come. Choose your nice seat. When I talk to Siva, and then one of the things we discussed about dress code, he said conventionally, if you see a lawyer, they will be the man in black, right? With a black jacket and so on. The moment you open your mouth, you are talking about you need to pay him, right? And today is okay. You can ask questions. You're on a flat rate, right? Except that flat rate is very expensive, right? So he has a belief in sharing. I knew him, his background, his dad do a lot of teaching, and his family is in the legal practice for many years, and he used to teach as well. And to start off with, it's going to be in a total different format. Instead of we have one speaker, invited speaker standing up in the stage and keep telling you the latest and the greatest, this is going to be interactive. This is your sessions. You bring your questions about contract. You bring your question about commercial issues into this floor, and we discuss, and hopefully we can find some answer among ourselves. The good thing about asking questions is that you get your own promotions. Yeah, right? So I have 11 questions from the outsiders, and I do hope to see more questions. The way we are changing for this year is that for a future quarterly forum, we will encourage you to post questions. Bring your question, and we're going to be here to solve it for you. First questions, before we touch on specifically for how this PM involvement in contract management, is that Siva, to me, you are the authority. Okay? And then you've been perceived as the authority in contract management, and also as an authority in commercial management, and also as an authority in project management. What does this authority really mean? Siva, can you help us?
Authority is, sorry, hi guys. My voice doesn't carry. If you don't hear me at the back, I have a tendency to drop my voice. Please just raise your hands, I will talk, okay? The voice does not improve. It's been the same voice all this while. I used to lecture, and students hope by the end of the year they can hear me. It never happens. So, okay. An authority is someone who's supposed to have extensive knowledge in a particular area. Okay? Now, I'm referred to as an authority. I don't like the term, but see, when I started off doing these contracts, IT, technology portions of work in 95, 96, there were no standards. There's hardly any PMI. We didn't have lawyers. We didn't, in this business, we didn't have lawyers who understood technology. Lawyers didn't do MBAs. Okay, lawyers didn't do anything else but be lawyers. What then happened was, I got involved in big jobs. I have a, besides these things, I told Suking I'll keep a certain number of degrees or business administration qualifications and things like that. I kind of channeled it, got involved in doing certain projects, and in the process learned. I traveled extensively to study. I've been to the US, to the UK, to various parts of the world just to study certain portions. The training and the certification that you're getting now is a lot better than what we had those days. You look for a course, it's being done in America. You know, you got to go to your boss and ask him, listen, I need to attend the course. How much the course? 4,000. He looks at you and you go, okay, US. He gives you a different look. And then he asks, so how much? All in, I want 4 times 4 is 16, plus I need another 12. You want 20,000 to attend course. That's a typical reaction. Today you're luckier, you're going to get those kind of things at a much cheaper position. She's talking about learning. Let me just touch some of those things. You have to pay the time if you want to get up there. If you're going to work 9 to 5, 9 to 8, and not learn anything more, you will be stuck. I headed one of the largest divisions of Sapura. At one time, Sapura had 1,000 IT employees. Okay, we had the largest numbers, we had the largest projects. Okay, staff used to come. Is it any better? Okay, staff used to come and ask me, how do you move up? Simple. After 5 o'clock, you sit down, you have to sit down and read. There are so many areas you don't know. There are a lot of techie. I have a lot of techie people reporting to me. People ask me, how do you run a large-scale project with no technical background? Simple. I never made a technical decision. One. Now, what I'm saying here is this. You're not going to make contract decisions. Be aware. You're not going to make commercial decisions. Be aware. You're not going to sit down and draw schedules if you're not a scheduler. I headed a schedule unit. First time I joined this job, I became contract manager. They took me to a room and told me you're heading schedules. I go, okay. The guy brings out schedules and they stop for 10 minutes. I say, sorry guys, what's this? And I'm the boss. Okay? But there are technical schedule implementers. You need to understand schedules. You need to understand each individual portion before you become a complete project manager. My background was in law, so Suke invited me to come and talk about contracts. Eventually I became a project manager. To be a project manager, you need a wide background. How much law do you need to know? You need to know a good working level of law. Okay? Not so much law, but contracts. You need to understand what certain things do. I'm going to explain.